When I was 13, I went to see the corals reproduce with my mother. In a depth, we turned off our flashlights and I was surrounded by tiny pale orange orbs. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It was disappointing too. The tiny pale orange orbs were dull next to the swallowing dark blue surrounding us. I still felt a pain in my chest when one of the orbs touched my hand slightly and then disappeared from my sight. While I was showering later that night, trying to focus on the water rolling off the tiled wall, I felt a sharp, low cry crawl out of me. I let myself stop staring. When I explained to my mom how I knew now we were tinier than the sperm and egg the coral spewed out, I was filled with anxious relief. When she held me and explained to me all about salvation, I felt connected to her. I knew she was as tiny as I was. That same year, I purchased thigh-high sneakers. If I knew then what I understand now as culture, I would have said they were the emo Toys R Us version of cyberpunk hackerwear. I wore them to the school fair. I craved, though, for humiliation, but I only wore them as a dare. At the request of my mother, I spent 4 days when I was 15 in a Catholic retreat on the outskirts of Bogota. I am from Cartagena, a Caribbean city on the north coast of Colombia. Growing up privileged allowed me to live in a peninsula most of my life. To one side is the bay, 3 blocks to the other side is the ocean. In the middle, a tiny strip of land. You follow the strip of land becomes the entire city, and before you know you're standing there on the other side of the bay, looking straight at me while I look back at you. One of my roommates at the retreat looks at me. She's the nicest person I've met, I think. Later, I find out that she cut off someone's dick. I see her walking down the plaza with a boy. He's already in love, she told me. I believe her. After breakfast, we head back to the church, every day for a talk. Today, we see a PowerPoint presentation. Each slide has sins in them. On your hand, a piece of paper. You have to put a check mark next to each sin you've committed since the last time you got confessed. I think back on my first communion. After the presentation, you take your paper to a priest. This is the first time someone knows you've masturbated. You feel tiny and a little good. They made us crawl to the church. The person speaking is the most beautiful person you've ever seen. He knows something you don't, you think. Before you know it, you're standing in front of a statue of Jesus crucified. You are weeping. I still ask myself why I wept. I believed in God for a month after that. That was the second time I felt connected to my mom. I was walking down the patio at the school fair when I felt every eye on me. I tell everyone I didn't mean to buy them, it just happened. I remember being sure I would find love that day at 13. Tiny pale orange orbs surround you again.